You two are goddamn adorable. That was an amazing message. I hope you both have an amazing Thanksgiving. I hope the turkey turns out well. Pumpkin cheesecake sounds amazing. I've heard other people talk about it. I have not had it yet. It sounds delicious. Yeah, and thank you again for the message. That was just awesome. Anyway, happy Turkey Day. Talk to you soon. Peace out.
Carl Rodriguez is the GMologist, GM extraordinaire, the GMologist.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the GMologist Presents. Happy Thanksgiving weekend, and I hope everyone had plenty of turkey and other fun sides and desserts and spirits or beer or ale or whatever your preference. If you celebrate Thanksgiving this past Thursday. So today, or in this episode, depending on when you hear from it, I'm going to have some call-ins from Jason Connerly, BJ Boyd, and Joe Richter. I will also, you can hear or listen to a recap of my Warhammer fantasy role-playing session, the latest one, which I'm playing later today at the time of this recording. So thank you all for the well wishes that you have sent either through the Discord or like Joe just sent us a message in response to mine and Amy's message. And then Jason, of course, wishes us happy Thanksgiving in the next segment below. So enjoy.
I don't remember if I called in after the brainstorming episode or not, but great episode, interesting thoughts. And yeah, I think we definitely need to come up with our plans going forward for next year. Pick which games are going to be long-term games. You know, hopefully your Twilight 2000 can keep going. Hopefully the Pathfinder game will keep going. So that ties up 2 nights. If the Thursday game stays a rotating game where you're playing, we rotate every few months, maybe 4 games a year, we can fit things in there. I don't think he can have that many long-term campaigns, to be honest. I think 1 or 2, maybe 3 is all you're going to fit in because there just aren't that many days in the week, unfortunately. I know I'd rather, like if we make Pathfinder weekly, I'd rather figure out weekly games. But yeah, it's something we need to figure out, man. But you know what? The good thing is you're not in this alone. So have a happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Jason, happy Thanksgiving to you too. Planning is a good thing, I believe, and I guess it's a hard thing, right? I like running different games. I like playing in different games. Maybe I do it too much, but I haven't felt like overwhelmed yet. I definitely need to reevaluate and plan for contingency, though, right? So at least one person is still wanting to play the game. I should run a game, and I just got to figure out what we're going to run and how we're going to run it and how things are going to scale down. And the game's going to happen. And I apologize for last Wednesday for the Pathfinder 2 not happening. It could have happened. It might have been a little challenging, and he probably would have been best if you guys would have quit the dungeon. Then I could have run something around the town, right, or in the town. I have some ideas for that now, but I should have been better about that. I'm going to plan to do that in the future, just to have consistency and not let myself be the one who, holidays are coming up, so barring that, and family time that we have during the holidays or trips that come up, well, then the game should go on, right? It's within our control.
Yo, Carl. So as far as the shared world thing goes, like it was just something I was sort of musing about, and I thought it sounded like a really cool idea, but I never said I was gonna like organize it or anything like that. So yeah, I don't know. Nothing's gonna happen obviously until 2022 because the holiday seasons are just a mess to try and get anything done. So yeah, we'll see what happens later on next year sometime. But yeah, it does sound really fun. It'd be cool to run different systems. The thing I've mentioned on my own show a couple times is that is a lot to ask for players to make multiple characters, but we'll see. And then, yeah, I would say we would just set whatever times we're going to play, and then whoever wants to show up or who can show up to those games plays in those games. But yeah, I haven't really thought about it too much. Peace out.
So I think it would be cool to make our own world. I really liked how you've explained how in Beyond the Wall you can make up your own world starting in your town, and then in the shared verse, then we would maybe not necessarily run Beyond the Wall. I think when you're talking about character creation, I think probably the easiest thing to do would to like use BX or one of the BX clones like OSC, because character creation is pretty quick and easy. You can go to a website and press a button, you got a character, and then you develop the character, or based on that random roll, you come up with a background or not, or you develop the character in an immersive way during the course of play, right? So I think that might be a cool way to go. Make it a simple system that most people like and don't bitch about. There are some bitch and complainers, right? As we know, this system is the best one, this system is the best one, and they all end up sounding like Bane arguing about a small chair. So I think that might be a good idea, and I really thought it was cool how you were describing how Beyond the World creates its own world, and then we don't have to worry about canon in the Forgotten Realms verse or Golarion verse or whatever. We can just make it up as we go along, or develop a world book canon as we do this exercise. I think it'd be kind of neat to do. And yeah, start small and work our way out, kind of like a wilderness hex crawl from a point of civilization, as done in classic D&D times, and has been repeated time and time again, right? So could even do this like in space. Jason and I have been talking about a Cowboy Bebop inspired game, using like interface Cyberpunk 2020 or Savage Worlds, something like that. And you could do a point crawl, hex crawl, space crawl from there. That might be kind of interesting. So where the players are explorers and bounty hunters going out into space, or in the solar system, right? That might be interesting. So anyway, cool stuff. I think we need to sit down and figure this out again next year sometime. But good call, and thanks for the call and for talking about this shared world idea. I think it's inspired several of us to really think about it.
Yo, dude, it was super fun hearing you talk about Golarion today. That was awesome, man. As far as published campaign settings go, I think Golarion is tops for sure. It is so detailed and rich and vast, and just story hooks everywhere, man. There's so many. Anytime I anytime I read stuff on the Pathfinder wiki or watch a video about a certain region of Pathfinder of Golarion, I'm like, holy crap, you could run an entire campaign there. Every spot pretty much on Golarion you could run a whole campaign just in that area, and I just think that's amazing. I know that's not for everybody, and it's not even for me all the time, but I love playing in that world, and sometimes I love running in that world. So awesome stuff, dude. I love hearing people talk about Pathfinder, so take it easy. Peace out.
And while I do like Golarion, and I've gamed many a year and run games in Golarion, I kind of the game world I'd love to run in, because I just feel it's very coherent. It makes sense. The cosmology is pretty cool. And that is, when we're talking about like fantasy worlds, right? traditional published fantasy worlds, I would say Midgard by Kobold Press. To me, I just something that I love. Well, for one, it's interesting. It's like flat. It's not a. It's its own sort of plane. There's actually an adventure that you can go and sail to the edge of the world, which is interesting. What I like about the cosmology is that there are different pantheons and they're regionally specific, but each one is tied to, right? Each there are these are sometimes these are not all the time. Sometimes it's specific regional deities, but there are some of the deities exist in different regions as masks, right? There's an aspect, so like Hel and Hecate are a mask of the same type of deity, but one is up in the more Northmen region, and one is more in the Mediterranean ortholog, which I really think is cool. Like an overarching pantheon that is the same every part of the world is kind of weird to me. And I know the Realms does that, Golarion does that, and there's really later in Faerun as it was developed, there were like regionally specific deities. Like you have that area that has like the Egyptian style deities, or if you go to the Karator, there's like they use the Japanese and Chinese themed deities or mythological deities. So, but generally speaking, I mean, it's like one pantheon, and I really like how Midgard does it. And I like in Midgard that you can play minotaurs and centaurs and kobolds and a whole host of other interesting races to me. So, I mean, if we really want realistic detail, then I'd play in Harnworld, right? In I think it's called Kythera, Northwest Lithia, the region. But that is definitely, and they have the economics and everything. I mean, I guess people don't really get into that, but I, as a GM, like my world that I run in to make sense, and it's not just a hodgepodge of everything under, in the kitchen sink. So that's what I feel sometimes that, I mean, definitely the Forgotten Realms is like that. Golarion can be to some degree. I think they've done a good job of integrating everything and making sure there is relationships between the different countries and why these regions are like the way they are, right? Like the Numeria region, for example, or that Cheliax broke away from Taldor way back. So I kind of think that's cool. And I also like that they have a history to me in Golarion that is not just whimsical and random like in the realms. So I like that type of stuff, and I like a coherent history that makes sense, and a world that lives and breathes, and of course seems realistic, but really, you got elves, dwarves, and orcs and other things, so not so. But I kind of think that's cool. Anyway, my rant on various worlds. If I had a choice and I could play, and I just decided I want to run this, it would probably be the next fantasy thing will be in Midgard. But I don't know. I'm enjoying. I do run a lot of fantasy. I like the old world for Warhammer. That one definitely has a lot of history and makes sense, and it's kind of realistically based on like the Holy Roman Empire, right? The German Holy Roman Empire. And then I do like a DCC fantasy. I like that I'm making up the Fomalhaut system as I go, and what does that entail? But we haven't really gotten into the history of any of the worlds that potentially the players have visited. They're not sure. I thought one of the cool thing I heard is that they're not sure if they've traveled somewhere else in the world that they were at through a portal, or if they're on another planet, which I don't know. Honestly, I haven't decided yet, but no one has looked up at the night sky. So, yeah, I think it's all been during the day, or they've been inside. So there you go. It should be interesting to see what I decide when that question is asked of me. So, yeah, good stuff, Joe. I do love Golarion. Don't think I don't, but I feel like there are other really cool worlds out there too that deserve an equal shake. earlier today, I got to run a session of my ongoing Warhammer Fantasy campaign, The Enemy Within. We are currently in the second book, Death on the Reich, and we are usually play on Thursdays, but today we played on Friday since yesterday was Thanksgiving, and we wanted to get a game in so it doesn't get too long before we game again. And everyone showed up, which is hella awesome. People really want to play. They enjoy this game a lot. So, yeah, we've talked about future games, or a game, like if we want to drop a game in the middle, or if we catch up in the campaign with what has been put out in print. Although I think I am up to at least the next one, Power Behind the Throne, but they're all out in PDF anyway. So I'd rather have it in print, because our Dragon's Lair, the gaming store I go to, is in the Bits and Mortar program. So I buy it from them, and then they send me a code for the PDF, which is really cool. A lot of companies do it, and it's a great way to encourage people to buy from their brick and mortar store, right? So anyway, we pick up where the players last time had destroyed a ghoul that had sprung out from a trapdoor that they did not see, or they kind of felt was there but couldn't find a way to open it, something like that. Then they went down and explored what was below this signal tower that these group of dwarves were working on for the Empire. So they go underneath. It's dark. They got torches going. Seems only one way to go, because some doors are locked and they don't open, and they don't have someone who can pick locks. They go through this one door and find like a central circular chamber. The inner wall is made of metal. They find a couple rods in the wall at both at 3:00 and 9:00. Of course, being good adventurers, they push them in. There's this grating sound and a click or a gong, and they see that an inner chamber has opened up, and it's this 6-pointed star, and each point of the star has a hole, and the hole is a 6-pointed star as well. They don't know what that means yet. They keep exploring. They open a door that it happens to be unlocked, or maybe it unlocks when one of the characters approaches it for some reason. And they open into a library. There's books and stuff on the shelf. They see in front of them, though, this humanoid figure standing there. When the light is shined upon it, it turns out to be an undead human shambling zombie. And players have to roll for their character's fear, and a couple players make it, a couple do not. And the fight lasts longer than it should. One of the characters gets scratched up in the face and on the arm from these creatures. Eventually they take them down and burn them, as they noticed that one of them started to regenerate when it got hit, which was an odd thing that ghouls in the Warhammer world do. Of course, Fang was a hero of the tale and fight again, since Morastra was afraid and held back until he could steal his resolve. But Fang charged ahead and pulled the creature down, worrying it and smashing its head against the shelves. So they took 3 zombies, and each of the zombies had this leather thong around their neck with a key that had a 6-pointed star at the end. So they kept exploring, and they found 2 other zombies. One of which in this set of rooms, there's these circular concentric rooms around this concentric circle in this tower underneath the signal tower that the dwarves were constructing, and they found one zombie they destroyed right away. Actually, the players have some cool abilities now. So one player has this thing, like if he has his pistol ready, he can get a shot off before initiative goes off, and then he can go really fast. So he was able to shoot it, move up because he got initiative, and hack into the creature pretty well. And in this room was a room. The most interesting thing in this room, they found seemed to be a study. They found a crooked staff in the corner. They found some maps, and one of the maps had these 3 lines intersecting, and they determined this was the path of Morsleb, and at the bottom of the triangle of this on this map, which is a map of the Empire, had a circle around it. And Ulrich, the boatman, who has some good navigation and can read maps, although can't read, saw that this is the area called the Barren Hills, which is in Talabek land, to the north, from where they were to the northeast, and north of Kemperbad, which they were sailing to on their boat barge thing. So they opened a drawer, and Ulrich got covered in ink because he just forced the drawer open, the locked drawer. But they found a journal in there. The ink didn't ruin it, but the journal had like all these calculations, and they realized it was tracing and monitoring the path of the Morsleb again. That seems to be important. And wherever this thing was, the circle was, that they thought that might be a place to go. They found another zombie, but then the elf Morastra, he was holding the stave, and he realized that he saw the winds of magic emanating, dark winds of magic, probably Dar, emanating from the stave, and he was able to realize it controlled the zombie, and he was able to control the creature. There was an argument about whether they should destroy the zombie or not, but they decided not to, which was curious. And they also discovered a book, and the lawyer character, Sebastian, read through the book quickly. They spent some time looking in this alchemist area, and he discovered that this was a book of necromancy that could help you to control, or teach you how to control skeleton zombies, ghouls. Just needed a little bit of warp stone, which is a stone that has the power of chaos, and it actually comes from the green moon Morsleb, which is very interesting. So the characters decided not to kill the creature or destroy the creature, and they left it there, locked things up, went back to the dwarves, found a secret door at that exited out the base of the tower with the ghoul's key ring, which was a 5-pointed star. But they found 5 of the keys, but they could not find the 6th. They took the dwarf there, and the dwarf said it looks like it's some sort of mechanism that you need the final key to open some sort of something, possibly a trap door. Maybe the whole thing moves or falls down. The dwarf engineer, what I think her name was Aeljul, something like that. The dwarven engineer foreman. That's what she speculated, but didn't know how to find it. So this was actually really cool, and I asked the players this: they feel that exploring the tower was more fun without a mage who could just open every single lock, and they actually agreed that it was more fun to do that. And we felt that maybe, hopefully if a mage had been there, they wouldn't have argued to death about whether the trapdoor could be opened with their magical unlock spell. But I think I would have ruled, no, you can't open it. It's part mechanical, part warded, so therefore you cannot. But it might have been an argument. I'm hoping would not have been. I don't know what players think about that, but I thought it was really fun, this part of the adventure, to explore the tower without sort of magical means. But they found some interesting magic items. So they take the staff with them. They take the book. They tell the dwarves that everything's cool. They recover the bones of the dwarves that were missing, that had probably been taken by the ghoul and then eaten. So the dwarves were satisfied, paid them their money, and said, okay, we're going to finish the tower now and come back. And then they gave them the bonus because they found out what happened to the dwarves and what caused the demise. But there was a mystery, and we need that last key. And they decided they're going to go travel to these Barren Hills area to find it. So, which was kind of cool. And they took off, and they kept sailing towards Kemperband. This time, instead of braving any harsh weather, because again I rolled on the weather and wind tables, they decided to stay in port when it became stormy, and with a strong headwind or a strong side wind that could topple the boat over. And Ulrich, the boatman, was able to make the rolls when necessary. So they get to Kemperband in good order. They sell their grain and make some 5 gold crowns profit over it, which is really neat. They decide not to get any more grain or trade goods going up the Steer River, so they're going to get off the Reich and then go up the Steer towards these barren hills. So, and we did some of that upriver journey. Another curious thing happened to our doppelganger character. So someone approached him and said, "I need to talk to you. I need to whisper something into your ear." And then was asking him, what's your? They still think this is a doppelganger, and they said, what are you up to, and where are you going? Why are you going the wrong way? You're supposed to go over there. You're supposed to go to the designated spot, but are you stealing our money? What's going on? And actually, the player played it pretty coy, didn't give a straight answer, but gave a satisfying answer, at least in my mind, and with his charm roll, to allay the fear of this obvious purple hand cultist. They let the purple hand guy go, but the purple hand guy didn't give them any information, but alluded to maybe there was another chaos cult operating as a rival in the area, and maybe this guy was going to their side. So perhaps, I don't know if the players picked up that hint or not. Maybe one of them will listen and say, "Oh, that's what that meant." Anyway, so they travel up the Steer, and where we stopped is they got to this place where there's twin waterfalls, where the Steer and another river, I think it's called the Narn, meet, and they have to go up the Narn to where this Barren Hills area is. They hear that there's a place called the Devil's Bowl where a meteorite, a piece of the evil Morrisleb moon, fell. So that's where they're going to head to. They got some information from the locals. They recruited a local druid to help them, and we'll pick up at the inn of the Twin Falls next time. But overall, the players were very happy. They felt they made a lot of progress. They cleared the tower. That's an adventure in and of itself. And we were only halfway done with our session by that time. It's pretty efficient. And then they headed off to Kemper Band, and on their way to the Barren Hills. So I think they've definitely picked up on all the hooks, which means that it's kind of neat the way these adventures are written. I'm not going to spoil everything because I know I have players that listen, but there are different ways to get to the outcome and solution for the adventures, and the players are hitting all the hook or taking all the hooks, and they perceive their characters as unknown heroes of the realm, so they're going to do whatever it takes to stop these chaos cults, and they're following the leads as best they can, and it's working. So really fun game. We really enjoy it. I have really good players. So we will continue in a couple weeks with our adventure, The Death on the Reich. They will hit the dreaded Barren Hills and the Devil's Cauldron, I believe is what it's called. All right, I just bought this cool product at Dragon's Lair in San Antonio, the medical center one. I've never actually been to there's another Dragon's Lair in San Antonio that I've never been to. But I have sort of a subscription. The people there, when things come in, they know the games that I play, and they put them in my box, and I get them. I have a big pile I got to get at some point. But no matter, I try to, when I go over there, and we played there today for a Warhammer game, I try to buy something. And today I bought the Klingon Empire Game Master's Toolkit for Star Trek Adventures. So let's give it a look-see. I'll just take off the shrink wrap. And yeah, it has this... Well, here's what it's supposed to have. Already, I don't like these like single sheet pieces of art that are really cool, but it's hard to put them anywhere, honestly. So this is it's a 4-panel GM screen with the rules for 2D20 system references, a stunning starship art wrapped around the outer sides, 6 double-sided reference sheets for warship actions, momentum spend tables, and contact rules, a complete standalone adventure, which is why I kind of decided to buy it, an A2 size map of Klingon space with Klingonese labels, and then alpha and beta quadrants focused on the Klingon Empire. So pretty cool. Again, like it has these single sheets, which is a picture of some Klingon ships with 2 birds of prey and a bigger Klingon ship. I don't know the make and model of that ship, but it looks kind of cool. And on the back sheet is what I just read, like the single sheets. The adventure is called The Sleeping Beast. It is by Chris McCarver. It is a shorter adventure. without the ads in the back, about 17 pages or so, and an alien vessel on a collision course with the Ensteg, one of the Empire's critical agricultural worlds. Players have to avert the collision, which is very interesting. So it's like Klingon focused, and do they have? I wonder if they have. It doesn't seem like they have pre-generated characters, so you'll make your own Klingon ship's crew, which is kind of neat. I definitely want to play in Star Trek and the Klingon Adventures. The rule summaries are really nice. They're double-sided, so use of momentum on rule summary has on one side, and then on the back is like systems and internal reference, security and oversight, helm and navigation, then conflict momentum spends, conflict reference, and then rule summary, communications, rule summary, a commanding officer. So really good references that you'd give around to players at the table. The map. Ooh, the map looks really good. So it's cool. So the map on one side is kind of a poetic map of the Klingon Empire, which is really nice. It has like the different nebulae that are there and everything in Klingonese, and on the other side it has it in so I can read it in English. I don't know Klingonese, but it has like the Klingon Empire in the Alpha and Beta quadrants adjacent to the Romulan Star Empire and the Federation. So pretty cool. It's really neat. I love the poster on the back of the Klingon thing, and then here the fixed panel. Wow, it's a whole engagement of Klingon versus Federation fight, it looks like, with lots of Klingon ships smashing through the opposition, and one of the old style Klingon cruisers prominent with it looks like the newer style in the back, and with brilliant birds of prey. It's pretty impressive. Oh, the panel is good. I don't know if I'm a fan of the orange on white. The red on white is fine for me. Orange on white is a little challenging, but it does have a lot of good stuff. A lot of the things that are on the sheets that I had out there, how you make an attack, personal weapon qualities, which I really appreciate, are not extensive like in Infinity, as opposed in Star Trek. They're a little better. Momentum spends. Oh, starship weapons and damage, which is good. Personal weapons. What you do in melee combat. Minor, different actions. That is very handy. What actions you can do in combat. It's a very nice screen. Super duper durable. So there you go. That's my Star Trek Klingon Empire GM screen. And I don't know Klingon, or I'd say some sort of greeting or goodbye at the end. But if you do know those words in Klingon, share them. That'd be great.
Hey, Carl. Unfortunately, I think Stars and Stones is already taken. That's one of Harry Dresden's, what do you call it? Interjections, or I don't know. Kind of like when Superman says, "Great Scott." That's one of Harry Dresden's exclamations when he's exasperated or shocked, is to say Stars and Stones. So I think that's already taken.
Well, I mean, it could be a campaign name, right? So if I wanted to run my Lost Colony game, the Lost Colony Deadlands expansion, somewhat, kind of more parallel with Deadlands Hell on Earth, post-apocalyptic play in the Deadlands verse, then it could be Stars and Stones. You're in space, you see stars and stones, referring to ghost rock and other minerals that are mined in the belt, and the belt is a big part of the system and the game. So yeah, Stars and Stones is a campaign name, if not an actual game we design. Probably good.